"Please, sir, just $10. A poor boy begged to shine the CEO's shoes. When he revealed it was to save his dying mom, everything changed." Jordan Trainer, 42, tall, sharply dressed in a navy silk suit with caramel brown skin and salt and pepper hair, was never late. Every step of his morning was choreographed to the minute. On this particular Tuesday, a merger meeting with an Asian fintech conglomerate had his full attention. But as he strode across Levington Plaza, where chrome and marble gleamed under city light, a sudden tug on his coat halted him. Standing before him, a young boy, no shoes, clothes frayed and too thin for the season. His skin was dark bronze from sun exposure, his curly black hair matted, yet his brown eyes, big and fierce, held something that forced Jordan to pause. "Please, sir, just $10, the boy said, voice cracking. "I can shine your shoes real good, I promise." Jordan frowned. He didn't carry cash, he didn't talk to strangers on the street, and he certainly didn't negotiate with children, but something about this boy made him break his rules. $10, Jordan asked. "That's an expensive shine," the boy nodded firmly. "It's not just for shining, it's for my mom." Jordan squinted. "What happened to her?" "She's sick," the boy said quickly, his voice too rushed, as if afraid the words would slip away if he didn't blurt them out. "She can't breathe right. I need the money for her medicine." Jordan tilted his head. This wasn't the first time he'd heard a sob story on the street, but the boy wasn't crying or begging. He looked determined, proud even. "What's your name, Micah?" he replied. "I'm 9. I can shine real fast, promise." A part of Jordan wanted to wave him off and keep walking. Another part, buried under years of suits and success, wanted to understand why this kid was out here alone at sunrise with nothing but a rag and a desperate purpose. Jordan agreed to pause. "Okay, let's talk. Why don't you tell me everything?" Micah dropped to one knee and started working on Jordan's already polished shoes with focus. As he scrubbed, he spoke. "My mom's name is Raina. She cleans offices. She got real sick after the fire in our building. Now she can't breathe too good. Doctor gave us a prescription, but it costs $38. We have $28. Jordan did the math. A $10 gap. "Where's your dad?" he asked. Micah didn't look up. "Gone. Never met him." The answer hit Jordan harder than expected. In the blur of traffic and chatter around them, the city buzzed. But for Jordan, time slowed as a story began to unfold that was far more human than his polished life allowed. Jordan glanced down. His Italian leather Oxford sparkled under the morning sun, Mika's rag making little difference. Still, the boy kept rubbing, with the discipline of someone who knew the world gave nothing freely. "You know these shoes are already clean, right?" Jordan said gently. Micah stopped, shrugged. "Then it's an easy $10 for you, sir." That answer stunned him. The boy didn't ask for charity, he was bargaining. Jordan reached into his wallet. Nothing but cards. Of course, he hadn't carried cash in years. "I don't have 10 on me," he admitted. "But I can get you breakfast and figure something out. Would you like that?" Micah hesitated, like he'd heard offers before that led nowhere. But eventually he nodded, cautiously. "Okay, but just something cheap." "I don't want to waste your time." That sentence broke something in Jordan. The boy saw his own dignity as a burden, and somehow Jordan couldn't walk away. They sat in a corner booth at a nearby cafe. One Jordan usually passed without noticing. Micah devoured his scrambled eggs and toast, chewing like someone who hadn't eaten since yesterday, maybe longer. Jordan didn't ask too many questions at first. He let the kid eat. Finally he said, "How often do you do this, shine shoes for money?" Micah wiped his mouth. "Just started last week. My mom didn't want me to, but when she coughed up blood I got scared." Jordan stiffened. That wasn't a detail a kid would invent. "You shouldn't be out here alone," he said. "No one else is going to do it," Micah replied. "Mom said not to beg." "So I don't. I offer work." That pride again. Earned, not handed. Jordan looked at the boy with growing respect. This wasn't just a kid in trouble. This was a child trying to be the man his family didn't have. Jordan remembered his own past. He'd grown up in a small Louisiana town raised by a single mother who juggled 2 jobs. His first suit had come from a thrift store. His first business pitch had been laughed out of the room. He'd buried that part of himself, layer by layer, under success. But now it surfaced, in this child. "Micah," he said slowly, "you said the medicine costs $38? The boy nodded. "We have 28. That's why I asked for 10. "Where's the prescription?" "In my pocket," Micah said, patting his worn hoodie. Jordan took it. It was legitimate. The pharmacy's address was only a block away. Jordan stood. "Come with me." "Let's get your mom what she needs." Micah blinked. "You mean it? For someone who doesn't beg," Jordan said with a smile. "You sure know how to earn a man's trust." They walked together, a tall CEO in polished clothes beside a barefoot boy with fire in his eyes. At the pharmacy, Jordan paid the full price, declined change, and handed the medication to Micah. The boy clutched the bag like a treasure. "Thank you," he whispered, voice breaking for the first time. "You don't owe me anything," Jordan replied. But Micah disagreed. "I owe you everything," Jordan crouched. "You owe me one thing only: keep looking out for your mom. And keep being this strong. It matters more than you know." Micah nodded hard, fighting tears. He wasn't used to kindness or trust, but somehow today felt different. Jordan offered to walk Micah home. The boy hesitated, but eventually agreed. They reached a crumbling apartment block on the city's edge. Graffiti stained the walls. Windows were cracked or boarded. Jordan had never stepped foot in a place like this. Micah unlocked a door on the third floor. Inside was dark, barely furnished. A woman lay on a thin mattress near the window, coughing weakly. "Mom," Micah whispered, kneeling beside her. "I got it." Raina, maybe 35, looked up. Her skin was pale against her dark hair, her eyes sunken with exhaustion. She tried to sit up, shocked by the sight of the man behind her son. "Who?" "This is Mr. Jordan," Micah said proudly. "He helped me." Jordan stepped forward. "Let's get you well, we've got medicine." Jordan gave her space but gently asked questions. Raina was proud too. She had been a janitor before the fire at her old workplace left her lungs damaged. No insurance, no paid leave, no justice. Jordan offered to help with hospital bills. Raina shook her head. "I don't take pity," she rasped. "I've managed this long." "But barely," he said. "That's not managing, that's surviving." She gave him a look full of strength. "Still, I can't owe strangers." Jordan smiled softly. "Then don't owe me. Consider it a loan, or better yet, a thank you for raising a kid like Micah." That silenced her. Jordan left that apartment with more than pity in his heart. He saw potential, in the boy and in the woman who'd raised him with so little. Back at his office he couldn't focus. The merger meeting passed like static. That night he reviewed files, looked up city programs, made calls. He had contacts, money, and influence. And now he had a cause. He'd built empires. Now he wanted to build something human, and he knew exactly where to start. 3 days later, Micah returned from the pharmacy with a refill slip, only to find a sleek, unfamiliar car parked outside his apartment building. At the front door stood Jordan, holding 2 brown paper bags and a box under one arm. Micah stared. "What are you doing here?" "Delivery," Jordan said with a grin. "Groceries, a portable air purifier for your mom," and he raised the box. "Some shoes, for you." Micah froze. "You didn't have to." "I know," Jordan said. "But I wanted to." Micah opened the box. Inside was a pair of black sneakers, simple, clean, durable. Tears welled in his eyes. "These are new. First of many," Jordan said. "Only if you want to keep walking with me. I've got an idea, Micah, but I need your help." Jordan brought Micah to his office the next day, not to show off but to expose him to a different world. He introduced Micah to his staff as his young friend with a sharp mind. The receptionist showed him how the phones worked. A junior exec taught him how to run a spreadsheet. Micah, now clean and in new clothes, watched and listened with laser focus. Later, Jordan gave him a part-time task: to help organize a charity initiative for underprivileged families. "You'd be the face," he said. "You've lived it. You know what people really need." Micah didn't hesitate. "Okay, I'll do it, but can we help others too?" Jordan nodded. "That's the whole point." Meanwhile, Raina started recovering. With steady medication and healthier meals, her breathing improved. Jordan offered to connect her with a lawyer to revisit her workplace fire case. She agreed reluctantly. "You're not just helping us," she said one evening. "You're changing the way I see people." Jordan replied. "You're the one who raised a boy who gave up begging for work. That says everything about you." For the first time in years, Raina smiled without pain. The fear in her eyes began to fade. Not everyone in Jordan's company was thrilled. His inner circle raised eyebrows at his sudden involvement in what they considered personal charity. "We've got a merger to finalize," one VP said. "Not a soup kitchen to run." Jordan stared him down. "We build systems that change lives. But if we forget the lives behind the systems, we've failed." That meeting ended in silence, but Jordan didn't back down. In fact, he doubled down, and Micah watched every move. Word got out. A video of Micah speaking about his mom's struggle at a fundraising event, wearing a suit, standing tall, went viral. "I just needed $10, he said. "Not for toys, for medicine. I didn't want a handout. Just a chance." Millions watched. Thousands donated. The story of a boy and a CEO lit the internet on fire. News anchors, podcasts, and influencers all shared their story. But for Jordan and Micah, the attention wasn't the goal. The goal was impact. With donations pouring in, Jordan and Micah launched Project Rise, an initiative focused on helping families in medical crisis who fell through the cracks. Micah helped design the logo. Raina named the grant wing the Raina Fund. People who had been invisible were now seen. And Jordan, he no longer saw giving as philanthropy. He saw it as responsibility. At a youth summit 6 months later, Micah stood in front of 2,000 people, including senators and tech CEOs. He spoke confidently. voice no longer timid but strong. I used to clean shoes to save my mom. I thought that's all I could do, but someone saw me, and because of that, I now help others. Applause thundered. Jordan, sitting in the front row, felt pride unlike anything he'd known, even more than any business deal he'd closed. Raina now worked at a local clinic, helping patients navigate assistance programs. She no longer coughed blood. She walked without trembling. Micah, 10 now, was enrolled in a gifted youth mentorship program. He visited Project Rise centers on weekends, checking supplies and asking questions the adults hadn't thought to ask. Jordan had made many investments in his life, but this one, born from a $10 request, was the richest by far. 1 year later, Micah and Jordan walked through Levington Plaza where it all began. Micah looked around. Feels different now, Jordan nodded. You're different now, Micah smiled. You too, he pointed to the spot where he once shined Jordan's shoes. That was the hardest day of my life, Jordan put a hand on his shoulder. And the best day of mine. They stood there for a moment, rich man and former street kid equals in spirit. Micah once begged for $10, not for himself but for the woman who gave him life. He was met with more than kindness. He was given a future, and in giving, Jordan found his own purpose reignited. All it took was one boy who refused to give up, and one man who refused to walk away. If this story touched you, subscribe for more inspiring tales of hope, courage, and unexpected kindness, because sometimes the smallest voices spark the biggest changes.